So hi everybody and welcome back. This is a video about build up of a Formula 1 car that I made from Tamiya kit, this one. This kind of vintage kit, she also still have on the box the typical importer from Italy, that was the old sticker of the importer, so I think this is an item from middle 90s, something like that. And it is the Jordan 191, one of the nicest Formula 1 car ever built up. The line and the shape is simply fantastic. And this is a commission work that I have to build up for a friend. And it's interesting because I already made in my channel a video about the Jordan 191 that was scheduled into the Centauria collection, the toys arriving in the shops, and it would be nice, probably I will make it in the future, a comparison between this model despite the scale, because this is a Tamiya 120 scale and the other is a 124 die cast, I think from Altaia or Ixo models, I think basically they are the same brand in that scale. So it will be interesting to compare a professionally built item like this Jordan is compared to the toy stuff that we have in Italy. And right now I am not in that location, so I could not make that comparison, but I hope that before the delivery of the model I can make such a comparison, because it will be interesting to see basically the main differences between the models that we have here. So basically the model have been finished using the Studio27 items, both for the photo etched parts and all the set provided by Studio27, as probably nearly the entire part of the rear wing, the side wings are completely photo etched in double layers of parts, as well as a lot of little details like the clips on the body, all over the body, and nearly all the front end is also made full of photo etched parts. When the model is complete you cannot see how many there are, but it's anyway a very, very detailed set. Plus, because when you are working with, when you are dealing with such old items, despite they are vintage and very interesting and quite pricey they became right now, usually the decal sheet is not at all the best. Mine was completely yellowish, so I had to change all the decal sheet provided by original Tamiya with the Studio27 set, and it gives, first of all, you have all the possibilities to finish the model in all the version that she have raced, and it's very, very interesting. I wanted to really build up a model, because the friend that committed the model gave me full choice about how to finish the model. This was the infamous car that have been driven by Bertrand Gachot in the beginning of the season, the 91 season, and then and the number 33 was the second driver, but it made all the season. It was Andrea De Cesari, the Italian champion from Roma, that sadly disappeared on the Grande Raccordo Anulare bike crash. And so I wanted absolutely to finish the model, as you can see, like Andrea De Cesari is nicknamed by at the time like Andrea De Crasher is, because he was famous to destroy several cars of the Jordan. The Jordan was in a way extremely competitive. What you can notice at once, that I will do it also in the video about that model, is the difference that I made here with the wires. I hope you can see them, because with my telephone there is the wire, keeping in position the rear wing, in some races. This is the configuration used in Silverstone Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix, and I think the number 33 was the only chassis that Andrea De Cesari completely crashed in Silverstone. What is nice is also to note, for example, I had an issue during the build-up of the model with the tires, because in my opinion, as you well know, the tires are always a critical point on the model, in a Formula 1 car even more, because as you can see here, the first stuff that you see watching at the Formula 1 car is immediately the finishing. That is pretty glossy all over, of course, as it should be on a Formula 1 car, and the wheels, with some tags over and some writings and notice made by the mechanic, usually during the test sessions and so on, about the tire set that they are using. Some guys claim that it's not so often used, but I've seen so many pictures also about modern cars that are completely full of writings, and gives a really, really a special touch of reality to all the model. I think in the wheels, I love to concentrate myself over the wheels. You can see always with the limit of my old telephone, you can see also the the valve that I placed over the wheel, and there is also on the other side the weight, the balancing of the wheel, you know. And it was fun because this time I had the possibility not to work with the usual sticker decal for the Goodyear tire, you know, but I had the proper dime to make a airbrush writing, so they are painted over, you know, and it became much more realistic, you know. You see also the writing in the inner side of the tire becomes much more realistic than the sticker, you know. In reality they are made exactly in this way, so it is just a spray over the wheels, and they became faded at once, you know, so they are extremely nicer in my opinion than the ordinary decal. If I can work with the decal is okay, but if I can have a little time more to make it properly with the dime and with the airbrush, is absolutely better in my opinion. Some few details added in the cockpit, you know. The car, as the request was to make it completely closed, so curbside model, I had to place just little details on the back. As you can see, some minor cables and oil extractor. I added quite a bit of carbon fiber all over the body, you know, mostly on the side skirts and the inner of the air intakes, plus the sides inside the air brakes, in the front brakes, you know, as well as the cockpit, you know, completely full carbon fiber, you know, plus some tags about Formula 1 approval, the FIA stuff, the fire extinguisher between legs, and of course a rebuild set of seat belts, and that's it. That's ordinary stuff that you can do over an ordinary Formula 1 model. Despite the years, Tamiya made an excellent kit. They are always a pleasure to deal with, and if you plan to make it like a curbside model, just pay attention, because the closure always of the rear hatch with the engine inside, this was a full detail kit Tamiya used it to make, not like Revel, not like other brands, or Studio27 and so on. They use it to make the Formula 1 car full detail. So if you want to keep the proper shape, to see the shape as the request here was about the Jordan, you have to make the trimming of the line in the beginning of the build-up of the model. Also checking, because of course when you go deeper inside the details of the rear hatch, you have to check carefully all the fitting of the part, you know. Even more here, the livery is not so easy at all. You have so many bright colors. You have to be sure that the decal fits in the perfect conditions, you know, and the line have to be, you see the blue line. I used here acrylic, Gunze acrylic, all that range of colors. There it is. Not focus over my face, but okay. And I brushed and glossed with Gunze GX100 and the polishing from Tamiya set, the 3 set from Tamiya, you know. So I think the final detail is absolutely well done over this car, you know. They were nearly perfect glossy vehicles, so here you have to work in that direction. And that's it. So there is no particular issues on the model, and I think really with the proper improving with the photo etched sets, it's really became a stunner, you know. There is a huge difference, of course, between an item handmade and an item that you can buy in as an ordinary toy in the shops, you know, despite a collector toy or whatsoever. And that's it. So I think it's absolutely interesting, and I hope that you like this model. I did a lot, you know, because really the type of car is really bringing me back to the 90s, you know, and that era of Formula 1 cars that were extremely nice, and really a blast to see with the livery and the colors and the names of the pilots involved in this stuff. Remember also this was the first car driven by Michael Schumacher when he had to change Bertrand Gachot with the issue that he had about his career, as well as Alex Zanardi was one of the first driver of this Jordan 191. So the only pilot that made all the season was the number 23, De Cesaris, and I will love to dedicate this model to his memory and to his great experience in the Formula 1 world. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next.